In a first, Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh on Saturday revealed the details of Operation Sindhu that was carried out in retaliation to the Pahalgam terrorist attack that killed 26 innocent people. IAF chief revealed that Indian Air Force shot down 6 Pakistani aircrafts in total during Operation Sindhu. He was in fact speaking at the Air Marshal Katre annual lecture in Bengaluru. Among the aircrafts which were shot down, 5 were fighter jets and 1 was an AWAC or Airborne Warning and Control System.
That is Shahbaz, their Jacobabad airfield, one of them again, a major airfield that was attacked. And here there's an F-16 hangar, which you can see here. And here this is the photograph again from open source, from one of their earlier picture of the same hangar. And here that hangar, which is one half of the hangar is gone. And I'm sure there were some aircraft inside which have got damaged there. So if I can just sum it up, what we were able to get there at least 2 command and control centers in like Murid and Chaklala that I have shown you one of the pictures. At least 6 radars, some of them big, some of them small. 2 SAGW system that is in Lahore and Okara. Then of course runway at Sargodha and Rahimia Khan. 3 hangars that we attacked. One was, of course, Sukur, the UAV hangar, the Bholari hangar of AEWNC, and Jacobabad, the F-16 hangar. And we have indication of at least 1 AEWNC in that AEWC hangar, and a few F-16s which were under maintenance there. Apart from these, the SAGW systems, mostly from, I'm talking about fighter aircraft are from S-400. We have at least 5 fighters confirmed kills and 1 large aircraft, which could be either an Elint aircraft or an AWNC aircraft, which was taken out at a distance of about 300 kilometers. This is the actually largest ever recorded surface-to-air kill that we can talk about.
So you heard from him. He said that a parked F-16 fighter jet of the Pakistani Air Force in Jacobabad was also in fact destroyed by the IAF. He noted that the accuracy of the damage caused by the Indian attack was calculated through the satellite images. The IAF chief said that they have confirmed intelligence of the terrorists being killed in these Indian strikes.
So here you can see the damage, which is of course not coming out very clear in this, but other pictures, here these 2 buildings, you can see the damage much clearly. Again, another big set of buildings, and you see the damage that is coming out. What I can show you here is there's hardly any collateral that you see. Of course, from that distance, it is not very easy to make out, but still all the adjacent buildings are fairly intact. The buildings that were targeted were based on intelligence. And this is the main building of theirs, where the weapons have gone in, and it's badly damaged. Now, one thing which was good this time was that not only did we have these satellite pictures, we also had a lot of input from the locals, media, which was giving us the inside pictures, because these were areas which were open to public kind of areas also. So there were a lot of people who were going in and out. So on the net, we could get pictures like this and videos like this. This is the same building that I just showed you. You look at the damage that has been caused inside. These are the 2 main buildings. These circles should be here on this building and this building. And these 2 things, circles are in this area. This again is their, if I can say, the senior leadership's residential area where they were staying, and these were their office building and their building where they used to get together to conduct their meetings. This is one of the videos that we have because this was within our range. So we could get this video from the weapon itself. If you notice here, somewhere here was the first impact of the previous weapon. And if you see the next one now, the video continues, you can see the smoke of the previous weapon somewhere here. And this weapon is for the main building, that big building that we see. That was the point of impact. And this is the damage that you see on the... They've sorted me out here, my team. So before attack, these were DMPI 3 and 4. And after the impact, it's not very clear. The display is not very clear. But I think the brightness of this big display is always an issue. So this is the DMPI, this is the bomb that you saw in that video before. And here, this whole picture has shifted. And this is the impact that we see on the main.
Now, in a rather striking statement, Air Chief Marshal has also said, let me quote him here, that we were very precise and went deep inside. Interestingly, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, remember, had claimed in the Lok Sabha very recently that the government had quote-unquote tied the hands of the armed forces during Operation Sindoor. Now, to that very claim of leader of the opposition, Air Chief Marshal has debunked it by saying that, and let me quote him again here from today's press conference, that we had complete freedom and there were no restrictions on us. Listen in yourself.
And in Balakot, we could not get anything from inside. And it became a big issue, trying to tell our own people, unfortunately, our own people, as to what we have been able to achieve. We had intelligence of what has gone on inside. We had intelligence of, human kind of intelligence, where we had very clear picture of inside in terms of there's been huge damage. There have been so many terrorists which have been neutralized. But we could not convince our own people that, look, we have achieved that. But this time, again, a thing like this would have given us the same problem. But we were lucky, and we got these videos on the open. This is the same building from inside. You see the amount of damage that it has created. Because all these penetration weapons, the sound is from that video. So they cause this kind of damage. From outside, you get a feeling as if it's just a small hole. So I'm very happy that this time we were able to, take care of that ghost of Balakot, that we were able to tell the world what we have achieved. If I can say, what were the reasons for success? One, which I can think of, is that there was political will. I'm being very, very candid here, very open here, because I hear various versions of it. I think if I tell you something, people will have to believe, because I was there listening to everybody, attending every meeting. There was very clear political will, very clear directions which were given to us, and there were no kind of restrictions which were put on it. Many people have spoken somewhere. Unfortunately, everybody is speaking about it. Ki kuch na kuch main bol dunga is bare mein. So there have been talks about, was there any restriction? Were you kept constrained? If there were any constraints, they were self-made. We, the forces, decided what will be our rules of engagement. We, the forces, decided what will be the escalation ladder that we want to ride on. We decided how we want to control the escalation. So I want to make it very clear. There were no, I repeat, no restrictions on us. Full freedom was given to us to plan and execute. I must say that, that our attacks have been calibrated because we wanted to be mature about it.
Now, it's extremely striking in nature. It's extremely important that we discuss this because this is the very first time the Indian Air Force has disclosed the details of the kind of damages that have been inflicted to its Pakistani counterpart. And not only through what he has said, but he has also showed you the before and after pictures of attack yet another time through the slides. The visuals are also being played on your screens, showing you what exactly has transpired at the presser today. You've been provided with all kind of detail, the kind of damages, like I said before, have been inflicted upon Pakistan, the calls which were made during that time, how the armed forces has complete freedom, how they strategized it, and what is going to be the way forward. Moving on, another big development in Kolkata. The mother of the RG Kar Medical College victim has alleged that she was roughed up by women police personnel while on her way to join a march to the West Bengal State Secretariat, Nabonna. The march was held to mark 1 year since the alleged rape and murder of her daughter at a state-run hospital. These are the visuals coming in. As far as the protests which were conducted today to mark 1 year of RG Kar rape and murder case is concerned. In fact, not only that, mother of the victim, she has claimed that during the scuffle, her traditional conch shell bangle, known as Shankha, was broken and that she sustained a minor head injury. The victim's father also alleged that police tried to prevent the family from joining the protest at Dorina Crossing, despite court permission for a peaceful rally. That's extremely important. These are the visuals coming in straight from Nabonna of Kolkata, West Bengal. This is what the situation is looking like at the moment. There was a peaceful rally, and what has been alleged on the cops is utterly shocking in nature. Police baton charged protesters at Park Street in central Kolkata when some of them tried to break through barricades set up near Rani Rashmoni Road. Security had been heightened across key points, including Satragachi in Howrah, where further scuffles were also reported. These are the shocker coming in from West Bengal. You can see police had to retort to the lathi charge. Leader of the opposition in the state, Suvendu Adhikari, BJP MLA Agnimitra Paul and others also held a sit-in protest claiming that over 100 people, including several BJP leaders and the victims' parents, were injured in this police action. Protesters demanded the resignation of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, accusing the state government of failing to protect women. It continues to go on. We got some shocking visuals coming in from ground. We're trying to get you more details straight from ground zero to get the first-hand detail about the intensity of protests at the moment and the tensions on ground. Reporting straight from Hazra, Kolkata is my colleague Ravi Shankar Datta joining us on the broadcast. Ravi Shankar, we are looking at some dramatic visuals being played out on your screens for the viewers of News 9. We are looking at a full-blown scuffle between the cops as well as the protesters. They are claiming that it was a peaceful march, yet the police resorted to lathi charge. What was the reason? What happened?
See, today is the anniversary of that incident, horrific incident that happened 1 year back in RG Kar Hospital, and now today I am standing at Hajra More, currently 500 meters from a distance from Mamata Banerjee's residence, CM West Bengal, her residence. And let me show you what's the picture outright here. You can see that the protesters, they have come here with all their amenities, and as said by the court, it will be a peaceful protest. But you can see the arrangement of the police that has been constructed here at Hajra More towards the residence. I ask my camera person to show that the barricade you see just behind that, the straight roads going that ends up in Mamata Banerjee's residence. So this is the place where this is the famous Hajra More, where Mamata Banerjee was once assaulted in 1993 when she was protesting, and now a protest is going on at the same place where a protest is going on against her and her government on the Ajika incident. You can see that this is the place where thousands of people have gathered together, and they are claiming a justice for whatever happened 1 year back with Abhaya and her parents, and yet no justice has been delivered to this particular incident. The state and the center, they are blaming each other on the incident, but yet not a single arrest has been done other than the arrest that was done on the first day. And there has been several discrepancies in the this whole investigation, where CBI has claimed that the process of investigation was and the evidences were tampered when it needed to be kept under a control or under a specific vision. But now, standing at this Hajra More, it can be said that Mamata Banerjee's agitation against Mamata Banerjee and her party and the state government is growing, and today there has been several protests in Kolkata against whatever happened in Arjika last year. We, TV9 Bharatvarsh and News 9, we were the first channel to put it on here, like what happened and how the whole thing was constructed, a planned incident that had happened. And now after 1 year, we are standing on the same place with no justice being delivered to a parent who are asking who killed her daughter and what has happened to the society and to the government, who need to deliver a justice to the people of West Bengal.
Now it's time to provide you our exclusive. It's News 9's expose about the kind of allegations which were made by leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi and the investigation that followed here at News 9. Let's discuss details. Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi has alleged massive voter fraud in the last Lok Sabha elections, naming Karnataka's Mahadevapura and in fact Rajajinagar as some of the key constituencies. Among the cases he cited was that of a 70-year-old Shakun Rani accused of being registered in 2 places, voting twice, and of alleged misuse of Form 6. News 9 tracked down the woman Rahul Gandhi named. In an exclusive conversation with her, Shakuni Rani and her husband denied the allegations outright, insisting they have never voted twice and have no idea how their names ended up on 2 separate voter lists. The couple is now questioning the Election Commission here, demanding to know how this duplication happened in the very first place. Listen in to this exclusive conversation only on News 9.
2 days back in a press conference, Rahul Gandhi had said that there are multiple voters who have been voting twice. Then he also spoke about voting manipulation. Close to 1 lakh voters in Mahadevapura constituency are deemed to be illegal voters. Today we are here at one of the locations where Rahul Gandhi kept on talking about Shakuni Rani, a person who has voted twice. So we are joined in by Shakuni Rani. Ma'am, first I will speak to you, ma'am. Your name has been taken twice, Rahul Gandhi had said. अच्छा, राहुल गांधी जी ने कहा कि 2 बार आपका नाम आया है वोटिंग लिस्ट में महादेवपुरा में, जहाँ टिक होके है और आपने 2 बार वोट दिया. आप इसके बारे में कुछ जानते हैं, पहले वो बताइए.
नहीं, मैं कुछ नहीं जानती हूँ, मैंने सिर्फ 1 बार ही वोट किया है.
अच्छा, तो आपको क्यों लगता है आपका नाम जो 2 बार आया है और जो बताया गया कि एक बार दूसरी जगह और फिर एक और दूसरी जगह, वो कैसे?
ये उन लोगों की कोई गड़बड़ी होगी. मैंने तो 1 ही बार किया.
अच्छा, आप कभी इलेक्शन कमीशन से आपको कभी कोई 2 बार आके रजिस्टर किया है आपका नाम?
नहीं, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है. 1 ही बार वोट किया. 1 ही बार हमने वोटर ID कार्ड वगैरह सब दिखाए, सब चेकिंग हुआ हमारा, तब वोट पड़ा.
आपको लगता है किसकी गलती होगी जहां आपका नाम 2 जगह आ चुका है?
मुझे ये नहीं मालूम है किसकी गलती हो सकती है.
आई एम ऑल्सो जॉइंड इन बाय द हस्बैंड ऑफ शक्रानी. आपको क्या लगता है सर, क्योंकि 2 जगह नाम आया उनका और कांग्रेस पार्टी अब ये कह रही है इलेक्शन कमीशन बिना चेक किए इनका 2 जगह वोट हुआ, एक तरफ से गलत हुआ है, क्या आपको क्या लगता है?
हमने वोट एक ही जगह दिया है और ये अब उनको देखना है कि जो आदमी वहाँ पर थे कि किसने वोट डाला है, कैसे, कौन था, क्या उनका ID प्रूफ है, क्या फोटोग्राफ है, कैसे दिया, किसने दिया, हम इसके बारे में नहीं कह सकते.
कहीं से आपको लगता है कि इनके आइडेंटिटी का मिसयूज किया गया है, क्योंकि इन्होंने कहा है कि इन्होंने 1 जगह वोट किया लेकिन इनका नाम एक और जगह भी है, तो आपको लगता है इलेक्शन कमीशन कहीं यहाँ नेग्लिजेंट है?
नहीं, हम देखो, हम कुछ नहीं कहेंगे कौन नेग्लिजेंट है या क्या नहीं है। हम सिर्फ इतना ही कह सकते हैं कि हमने एक बार वोट दिया, बस, दैट्स ऑल।
Shifting focus now to the national capital, 7 people have died after a wall collapsed near Mohan Baba Mandir in Harinagar, Jaitapur, and that too amid heavy rains in the national capital, which has been happening since this morning. The Delhi Fire Service says it received the distress call at 9:16 a.m. 3 fire tenders and police teams were rushed to the spot soon after that. The exact cause of the collapse is still currently under investigation. But Delhi was lashed by heavy rain overnight, with the downpour beginning late Friday and continuing into Saturday. In fact, it is still raining out there. The Meteorological Department has issued a red alert for the city for the day. Next spells of the sorts can be expected on August 13th and 14th as per IMD's prediction. Moving on, at least one person was killed after a massive fire broke out at Delhi's Cosmos Specialist Hospital in Shahdaraz Anand Vihar area. 8 patients were rescued and shifted to the nearby Pushpanjali Hospital. The case has been registered in connection with the incident. The fire broke out at around 12:20 p.m., following which 4 to 5 teams reached the spot to douse the flames at the hospital. The fire initially erupted in the server room on the ground floor at Cosmos Hospital.